Okay, so I wanted to show you how I go about pinning this. I was pinning a lot, and then I found that that was really not working very well for me. And I think what I have found, and my dear, what I call her my Yoda, she shared with me, and she's honestly my quilt teacher, but she shared with me that you have to find the method that works best for you. So I start in the middle, and you can see, hopefully you can see these little points. You want to match those up first. So I'm doing that. And I put a pin there. And again, like I said, you have to do what works best for you, right? But then I am going about 1/4 inch in on this seam right here, because you're going to have to match that point up of that melon with that seam. And I found that if I could just eyeball 1/4 inch on that seam here, and then eyeball 1/4 inch on this seam on the melon, and bring those together, and I kind of just hold it in. I don't pin it down until I pin this edge down right here. So I'm going to pin that. And now that that's pinned on that side, I can kind of get this to where it needs to lie. And now I just finish that pin off. So this part though, I leave open because I just find it's easier for me to piece it open. So I'll do this again on this side. So you find that 1/4 inch right there. And then the 1/4 inch here. And I just pull it through and hold it there. And then I pin on the end. So that's held. And then I come over here and make sure that this is in a good spot and lying flat. And then I finish pinning it. So this side's ready to go, and I also keep this open. Because as I go sew it around the curve, it kind of works best that way. So I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, so I use this little tool that my friend Rochelle Rice gave me at a class. And so I just go ahead and start, and I go pretty slow for me, just to make sure that I'm staying, you know, even on that 1/4 inch. And when I get to this spot, I really let this go all the way up to the pin before I stop. And then then I pull that pin out. And then I'm going to make sure that these are all lined up, and I hold it taut and start going again on the 1/4 inch seam. And see, you just fit it in there. And make sure you just stay on that 1/4 inch seam all the way around. And it just works itself out. It's just better than pinning it for me anyway. I think that sometimes it's hard to know, like, should you pin it all or should you not? And I've tried it both ways. I've tried glue, and it just didn't work for me. And I think you just have to figure out what's your method. What's the one that's going to work? And this one worked best for me, just not pinning it and ensuring that it was staying on the 1/4 inch seam, obviously, and making sure your edges are lined up. But using this little, you know, tool was easier for me, just to work itself all the way around. Making sure all these seams are lined up. And then I'm getting to that seam again, pull my pin, make sure all my edges are lined up. And they are, so I can finish this out pretty quick. And then I'll show you how that looks. So I just finished sewing that all the way around. And when I pull this back, it's just perfect, honestly. It's perfect. So I just finger press this in because you want your seams going towards each other. I just finger press, and then I hit it with some heat. There you go. It works great for me, but like I said, you have to try whatever method's going to work best for you. Now I'm bringing it over to press. And I just really like to hit it just with a little spritz of Best Press. Best Press is not that heavy, but just gives it a little bit more staying power when you go to put it together. There you have it. Isn't that pretty? I just think it turns out great.